Hello there, in case you don't know what TEGG is, let me explain. Grian, a member of Hermitcraft, created this game where you hide the dragon egg somewhere in your base to the best of your ability. Then when someone else comes along, they can search through your base until they find it. Now I'll show you how I hid mine. On this world I built this kingdom, which has a lot of great hiding spots, so as you can see, I hid it very well. Let's head down there. Before we enter, there's a few rules we need to follow. You're only allowed to break blocks that you place or make, with the exception of iron ore and crops. You can't bring an item from one room into another room, and the only items you're allowed to bring into my TEGG base is a sword, food, and armor. I've got my inventory clear, so let's head down. Room 1. In this room you'll see 3 sections that look similar to this. Each of them has 3 buttons. The first one will shoot a snowball. The second one moves these 2 blocks. The third one moves this. As you may have guessed, the objective is to get that snowball, not like that, into the hopper. And then you have to do that on each of them. Let's go to the second one. That one's the easiest of the 3. These 2 are a lot harder. This one, the first one, again shoots the snowball. But the second one will shoot that to bounce it. And the third one opens that up so it can actually make it into the hopper. This one's fun. First try. On to the third one. This one shoots a snowball just like the other ones. Then the second one will push it forward to make it into that water stream. Then it will shoot across into this water, but that will just drop it. So we need to hit the third one, which will raise soul sand, so then it will push it up and then drop it into the hopper. This one is also pretty difficult. Either that or I'm just very bad at it. Nailed it. Now that all 3 sections are complete, the door should be open and we can move on to the next room. The first room was more of a minigame, but this room and the ones from here are all puzzles, so I'll go through them all and then come back and show you the solutions. Anyway, back to it. This room is split up into 2 sections. There's the mine over here and then the nether. Each of the sides has a chest, which has various things, and this one has a book. The book's called Miner's Log, and it says, "I've been stuck down here for I don't even know how long anymore. My food supply is almost gone, but I'm more worried about water. If I don't find something to drink soon, I think this may be my last trip." And then on this side, we have a chest which just has a bunch of random stuff. And if you explore over here, you'll find a little bit of water. There's also a furnace, a crafting table, and an empty cauldron. Next room. In this room, you're standing on top of a leaf maze, which will make a lot more sense in the solution. There's 2 carrots planted over here in an empty field, a lectern, which I'll read in a sec, and a pile of hay bales. There's also this little pile of barrels, which each have a few items in them. And then the book says, "Farmer's Log 16. Those pesky rabbits. There's only an hour till my hay bales get picked up, but those rabbits keep taking them, and I'm 1 bale short. I've even tried putting carrots out for them, but they don't seem interested. Also, I can't seem to find my hoe." So that's it for room 3. On to the next. To enter the 4th room, you get to ride this nice little contraption. So let's hope it works. It didn't. So this room is split up into 4 sections. This is the biggest of the 4, obviously. So I'll start with the first one, then show you the other ones. But before I do that, I'll show you this. On this wall, you'll see 4 different dials, each of them corresponding to one of these 4 sections. So as you may have guessed, what you need to do in each of these sections is to find the number. In the first floor of the section, it's made to look like a tailor's workspace, and here you'll find this book. It says, A Tailor's Tale. Believe it or not, before I was a tailor, I used to be a royal knight. It was a crazy time. I would hold my sword up high and charge into battle. There was axes being thrown to the left and bows being shot to the right. Danger around every corner. I was very lucky to make it out alive. The best part was after the battle when we set our helmets down and enjoyed a beautiful sunset. One of the most peaceful moments of my life. On the second floor of this section, I'll just show you it because explaining anything would give it away. In the bottom floor of section 2, you'll find this area that's made to look like the front desk of a library. Here you'll find a barrel labeled Book Returns that has 4 books inside of it. They read 4, -1, 3, and 2. And on the top floor, after looking around for a while, you'll eventually find a barrel stuck up in this corner, with another 3 books inside. These ones labeled To the Power of, Divided by, and -2. In the bottom section of room 3, you'll find this area that's made to look like a library. After exploring around for a while, you'll notice that that's not a bookshelf behind the ladder. And then you can go around to the back and open it. Inside you'll find a bunch of various flowers, and a book labeled Princess P. Embrace yourself, this one's very bad. Princess Penelope opened a small parcel properly because she thought it was her entire new train set, but it was just a red toy truck with the word Vroom engraved on the back. There was no engine and only 2 tires. She eventually started rolling it around and had a fun day. Going to the top of section 3, you'll find this cozy little reading nook with multiple fire hazards. Again, I can't explain too much about this room without giving away the solution. In the 4th and final section, you'll see this area that's made to look like a cartographer's workspace. There's a big map on the floor, a pile of barrels labeled Stuff I've Found on My Journeys, which each have a few things inside of them. And there's this desk with a few plants that he's found on his journey, and a desk with a book in it that says, Explorer's Log 4. I saw a tree. It had leaves. Inspirational. On this one, the second floor is actually blocked off, so you have to complete a task down here to open it. Once you unlock the top floor, you'll find yet another library-looking area. Here you'll find 6 different sections of books, each with a genre label and a barrel. The first one says Non-Fiction Crime, and contains a book that says, The Number is Even. Second says Fiction Exploration, and contains a book that says, The Number is More Than 6. The third one says Non-Fiction War, and has a book that says, The Number is a Multiple of 2. The fourth one is Fiction Sci-Fi, and says the number is less than 5. The fifth one is Non-Fiction Exploration, and says the number is a multiple of 3. And the sixth and final one says Fiction Crime, and has a book that says the number is 5 letters long. Once you figure out all the numbers and put them all in, you can move on to the next room. The fifth and final room is parkour. However, you're only allowed to have 3 attempts per stage, which of course isn't a problem for me because I'm amazing at parkour. And then if you're really bad at parkour, then this happens. You get to go on the ride of shame. once the ride's complete, you arrive here, which should look familiar. To solve room 2, I imagine from the book, you guess that the objective is to get the miner water. You do this by filling the cauldron with the water that's over here. But to do that, you first need a bucket. If you remember from the rules, one of the blocks you're allowed to mine is iron ore, but first you need a stone pick. So to get the stone pick, you use the slabs from the 2 chests, to craft a composter. And then you take all the mushrooms, which is way more than necessary, and turn that into bone meal. Then you take the bone meal and turn this crimson fungus into a tree. Then you can use the wood from this tree to craft a wooden pickaxe. You can then come over to this chest, where there's 2 stone and a piece of cobblestone. You can place these 2, then mine them with the wooden pick you just made. With this stone, you can now craft a stone pickaxe, which is used to mine the iron. Then you put it in the furnace. But because crimson planks are unable to be smelted, you first have to turn them into sticks and then use them as fuel. When that's done, you can take the iron and craft it into a bucket. Then all that's left to do is take the water from over here and put it in the cauldron, which opens the next room. In the third room, as you may have guessed from the book, what you need to do is craft a hay bale and add it to the pile. So to do this, you take the seeds, and you grab all the bone meal and bone blocks you can find to turn them back into bone meal. And then if you stand up on these barrels and open this trapdoor, you can find the farmer's hoe. You then use this to till all this dirt, plant the seeds, and then you can grow the wheat to turn into a hay bale. Now that you have enough wheat, you can craft the hay bale. But before you do that, you need a crafting table. So you take the wood planks from the barrels, craft a crafting table, and then make the hay bale. Once you add it to the pile, a door opens and a rabbit is released. So what you need to do next is take carrots and use it to bring the rabbit through the maze. Once it gets to the end, the rabbit is trapped and the farmer will have no more trouble with them, and then the doors open. In the first section of the big room, all you need to do from the bottom floor is grab this book and bring it to the top. And you'll notice a lot of directions in this book. The first one is sword up. What you need to do is move the sword until it's facing up. The second is axes being thrown to the left. So move the axe to the left. The third one is bows being shot to the right. So move the bow to the right. And the final one is helmets down. So turn the helmet down, of course. And once you do that, you get a piece of paper giving you the number of this room. So then you head over to number 1 and put it to 7. For section 2, first you need to go around and collect the books. You'll notice that all the books have dates across the top. So if you put them all in order, like this, then you'll get your equation. 4 minus 1 to the power of 2 divided by 3 minus 2, which should give you 1. So then the number for this section is 1. In section 3, you get to read this fine piece of literature again. You'll notice that there's a lot of capital letters. If you put them all together, it spells poppies are better. So if you take the 2 poppies and head to the top floor, you can then replace the 2 dandelions with poppies. Doing this will trigger piston noises below you. If you go down to investigate, you'll find a lever. If you flick this and head back to the top, you'll notice that the ceiling has turned into a giant 4, which of course is the number for this section. In section 4, the items, plants, and book are all just a distraction. All you have to do to unlock the top floor is fix this map. Once the map's fixed, the top floor is unlocked. In the top section, you'll notice that all the sections are either non-fiction or fiction. What you need to do is ignore all the clues that are fiction, because of course that means they're fake. Once you have all the non-fiction clues, you're left with the number is even, the number is a multiple of 2, and the number is a multiple of 3, which of course leaves you with the number 6. Once you put that one in, the door should open. And now we're back to room 5, which is the parkour. Once you inevitably fail again, and get sent back to the first room, if you were paying very close attention when I showed you this room again, you may notice that there's buttons that weren't there before. If you go up here, these games don't actually work anymore. So what you need to do is click the button that has the other button on top of it, on each of the sections. And then it'll open that. So what you need to do then is push the minecart over, or just break it and place it again because it's being difficult. Then it will open the door. And there you have the egg. And the parkour wasn't possible, by the way. That's it for today's video. See you guys next time.